Welcome back, guys. It's your boy A, and we got another episode of The Guy Gone Solo. This time we're in Amman, Jordan. And we're just going to take you through a day that I spent here, see what I got up to, and places for you to check out if you ever get to visit. So let's look in for the first spot. Boom. So we're back with another one. Obviously, we're in Jordan right now. Now, I know you can't see much, but we're in a restaurant called Hashem restaurant. Now, this one here is special, I can't lie, because it's been on every guide that I've seen. What was it? Founded in 1952, so that shit's older than me and my parents. But yeah, we're just down here for a little breakfast. I'm going to show you what we have in a moment. I'll tell you what I've won, and then I'm going to go through what we get up to today, and you'll see all of that anyways. But yeah, I'll show you a little brekkie step, you get me? And then that's it. Alright, cool. So we've got little salad, pickles, the French fries, hummus with meat, falafel, fateh, some bread, and a little tea to end it all. Cool. So the next place that we're going to is the Jordan Museum. Now over here you're going to find some of the country's most important archaeological discoveries, such as the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Copper Scrolls, as well as some of the oldest human statues ever made, dating back over 9,000 years old. So we're talking way older than your grandparents and their grandparents. Mad old, I can't lie. As much as I love history, I'm a total novice at it, so it was a nice opportunity to learn about the country's history. So obviously, in addition to the history, there's also a lot of culture that you get to learn. Now, I learned a lot about the different Bedouin tribes that they had in Jordan. And you're going to see me in a moment hold a piece of paper, which I thought was really cool. It gets to tell you your name in 4 different languages that were used throughout time in Jordan, including Nabatean, Aramaic, Greek, Arabic. Quite sick. You just type your name in and boom, prints it out. So just having a better understanding of those different tribes, different cultures, and history of Jordan gave me a better appreciation for the city and the country, as well as their nomadic spirit. Obviously, I saw a mirror in that. You see me looking fly. Had to record myself real quick. Now, I've always known how important Islam is towards the current formation of society. I have a bit of an understanding of the Golden Age, but what I really appreciated about this museum was how much it highlighted it, as well as some of the people throughout that time and their contributions towards society and just knowledge in general. Overall, I think this is really, just a great experience, a dope experience. Something that's not only entertaining, but also educational. Something I'd definitely add to your itinerary if you're ever in Amman. Generally speaking, yeah, it's quite cool. Now, that's enough from me. Let's move on to the next spot. So yeah, as you can see, we're walking through, and yeah, it's quite cold still, I can't lie. And this is what I was talking about before, like, you get a mad view of everything. And it's just, no, it's kind of crazy still. Like, you get to see how like all the buildings are like built on top of each other. A lot of rocks, I'm not even gonna lie about it, but it's different. We move in it, it's different. It's one of them ones. So while I was walking around the Citadel, there was a small museum called the Jordan Archaeological Museum. Now, this is the OG museum that opened up in 1952, but later they had to relocate to the previous museum that you saw due to the amount of discoveries that were made and housing issues. So inside, you're going to find a number of different archaeological discoveries, including pottery, coins, jewellery, weapons, even a human skull with holes in it, which I learned was something called trepanning. Look it up, it's mad brazy, some medieval medical operation that was used by Romans. Somehow found its way to Arab civilizations in the Middle Ages and other regions of the world, such as South America, talking like Peru, as well as Africa. So some of the stuff here goes as far back as the prehistoric times. So imagine that, we're talking all the way up until the 15th century. So the Paleolithic era, all the way to the era of the Crusades. Now, all of this is just another way to continue appreciation for history and discovery made by those in Jordan. So if the first recommendation interested you, I'd highly recommend following it up with this museum as well. Alright, cool. So we're just going to walk outside. Currently, we're inside what would have been the Umayyad Mosque that they built here. It's really cool, I'm not going to lie. And I'll show you a couple more shots in a moment, but we're just going to walk out because just outside of here, we would have had the Souk Square. Now, this area, it's one of those things where like it was obviously built a really long time ago, but more importantly, it's like the tallest artificial building from its time period. And obviously now it doesn't look like much, but you can still see over there how it would have been in terms of the entrance towards the souk, which is their market. So they would have had markets here where they would have sold stuff, and then right next to it the entrance and a place for prayer. So I find that really interesting. And then on top of that, because you're so high up, you have this amazing skyline that you get to see of the whole city, which makes that visit so much more worth it. Now, again, if you're in Amman, it's definitely worth a check out. Even though a lot of the buildings are quite old, the condition that they've been kept in is pristine. And then you look around, and like for instance, when you see like the mosque, I don't know if you can see behind me, but up there you can see like it's got like some of the pillars from that time period, and we're talking 3rd century to 6th century here, right? To have something that long ago still remain in that kind of condition and preserved in that condition really just goes to show you the amount of care that they have for history here. So as I mentioned already, the Citadel was home to the Umayyad Palace. This was built in the 8th century and is really just an amazing bit of architecture which highlighted how technical buildings were even in such a distant past. It was split into 3 different areas and generally was used to house like really important people. So we're going to move on, but before we do so, I just want you to enjoy the interior and the rest of the surroundings in the Umayyad Palace. Alright, cool. So we're at the next spot, which is the Roman Theatre. Now, this theatre, as you can imagine, is just like any other theatre. The only difference is when it was based. I don't even know when it was based, I'll be real with you, but it's really nice. Obviously it's one of the main tourist attractions that is here in Amman, and as you can see, like when you go around, the whole theatre can be seen. And if let's say you pay for entry or you got a Jordan pass, it's one of those spots that you can come up, you can visit it, climb up, and you can see, you can actually get to quite a height. Again, it's been around for a moment. You can see down there, this is usually where they would have performed. So you can imagine nines and that, doing their tours and whatnot, crop circle and them things there. Obviously nowadays you won't have none of that, but you never know, maybe they had their own rap, I don't know. But yeah, it's just one of those really nice places that you get to kind of experience in terms of history and culture. I guess what people used to do more. Because, you know, when you think back, you think, what do they do on a day-to-day basis? Well, this is one of those things that they do for bands. Come to the theatre, obviously you watch a couple plays and that, and then yeah. And obviously behind me, you've got the rest of the city. So, again, really nice to look at. You get to enjoy the rest of the city, especially when you're this high up. It's quite cool, I'm not even gonna lie to you. But yeah, now that we are here, we're gonna kind of explore, and I'll show you a little bit more as we're like walking around here. And then we'll see where we're gonna head out to next. But before so, let me show you a couple of shots. You know, my thing, cinematic and that. Like, yeah. So yeah, you man, just make sure you're taking your time with this, because these ain't regular stairs, you get me? These stairs are booky. Very booky, but as I said, you get to walk around. You get to see it all here, man. It's a nice view overall, innit? Can't lie. But yeah, the stairs make it long. Stairs make it a long thing. Alright, cool. So the last spot, as I said, in the theatre, there is a small museum inside. And let me just get the name. Boom, the Jordan Museum of Popular Traditions. And then, yeah, it's small. It's not really that big, but you can see a lot in here. Most of it is like Bedouin tradition. So, like very nomadic desert kind of tradition. And you'll see behind me, bunch of outfits and stuff like Bedouins would wear. And then they've even got some knives. I know that Yemenis still have some similar knives to today, which is quite cool. But yeah, you get to see all these different outfits, which I think is quite cool. And then let's just walk through a bit more. So if you go a little bit further, there's another room here. This room has more like necklaces, decorative pieces. But yeah, again, all based on that Bedouin tradition / history. And it's quite quiet. Everyone really goes for the theatre, but not as many people come inside. Alright, so we finished up with the museum. Yeah, quite a nice little enjoyable experience. Finished up there. We're heading to our last, what I would say is attraction for the day, but not the last stop of the day. So find out and see where we head out to next. Alright, cool. So we made it to the next spot. We are at the Cave of the Seven Sleepers. Now, this cave, the story behind it is that apparently 7 people came here, religious persecution, and emerged 300 years later. It's a cave. It's a cool cave. And we're just gonna come and check it out. So we're currently at the outside of it, just waiting for these lot to come out, and then I'm going to show you once we get inside. No, yeah. Okay, so we're inside. Apparently, the story behind it, yeah, they were here for 309 years, and this is during like the Roman era. And then you can see behind me, over here, quite some cool artifacts. Now when we go over here, these are meant to be the tombs apparently. You can see there's some inscriptions there. But for a place that they stayed 309 years, like, that's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, these 7 people came here because they were under religious persecution, I believe. So jumped in the cave and stayed in that cave for 309 years and somehow emerged from it, I believe. I don't know if they actually did emerge, but supposedly, yeah. Now, if you look, you'll see each of these have, again, detailing throughout. Now you can imagine, obviously, if this was during the Roman era, naturally a lot of it is going to go away due to erosion. But even here, you see like the inscriptions all along. And yeah, you've kept it quite pristine. So again, it's something really cool that you can check out yourselves, and yeah. That's it pretty much. So yeah, again, that's the Cave of the Seven Sleepers. Pretty cool story. And again, a really nice view. You can see behind me, like, yeah. But I think in terms of this touristy stuff, right, this one is a lot further than the other two. The other two are a lot closer to each other. So just with all of this, make sure you have a vehicle, because it's a game changer. Honestly, it's a game changer. But yeah, it's really nice. All right, cool. So you've just seen us at the Cave of the Seven Sleepers. A really nice spot which kind of ties together historical and religious significance. Obviously it's mentioned in the Quran, so it's like one of those things where, like, if you're a Muslim, it's cool to see, because whatever you've learned of the Quran, it's one of those things you get to actually see for yourself. So yeah, definitely would recommend checking it out. And it's a quick stop too. It doesn't take that long to go through the whole thing. So yeah, right now we're going to be heading towards our last spot. Now I've been saving this spot because I don't know, I'm looking forward to it. It's munch. I'm not going to show you what kind of munch, I'll tell you what kind of munch until I get there. But it's one of them ones, you ain't finding this in your everyday chicken and chip shop. This is something only you're exclusive to Jordan. You get me? So we're heading down to a spot where we can try some of that, and then I'm gonna show you and tell you how good it is. But yeah, man, stay tuned. We'll be there in a bit. So we're at our last stop for the day. We're at Darhaba. I might pronounce that wrong, but allow it. And we're trying mansa. This is their national dish. It's basically just like rice. We've got meat and this flatbread, which looks quite nice. Obviously, he's given it approval, so we're gonna try it. And boom, I'm gonna let you know. I believe the flatbread's called Sharad. And obviously we've got the Matrix. This is Jordan's homegrown, you know. None of that boycott stuff, you get me? So obviously, and then we got given this drink. I don't really know what this is.
I think it's like yogurt.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that in a bit, but this is what we're here for right now. The food. So yeah. Serious business, man, I can't lie. Lamb is very tender, and they've cooked it in like a yogurt sauce, which I think with the lamb it's helped break it down. Then you got the white rice. Rice is standard, cooked good. And then it's got like these nuts. Pause. I'm gonna try it with the bread. If I can rip a bit. Serious business, I can't lie. You know me, I could use a bit of chili, but I'm not gonna complain. If this is their national dish, it makes sense. Like, bro, look. Like, no, you can't even see that. This thing is just falling apart. Like, you get me? It's actually mad tender. So I'm gonna enjoy this, but I'm gonna leave the video to end here. If you got this far, well done to you, man, because I know my attention span is short. But yeah, stay tuned for the next one. You'll see where we end up at next. So if you got this far, thank you for watching to the very end. I do appreciate it. Obviously, thank you to the people of Jordan and the people in Amman. All of them just contribute towards having a great experience, and honestly, definitely a place I would love to go back again. In the video, you obviously saw me for a day, but I highly recommend spending more time than that. Take your time, explore the sites, you know, take time to learn, and yeah, man, just soak it all up. But yeah, just stay tuned for the next one, and we'll be back soon. Yeah.